7 of them are the Scorpion King.
It's just all the scorpion, just all different scorpion kings. Hey there, Toonami faithful, and welcome back aboard Toonami Absolution, where we talk about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. We are your hosts. My name is Alex.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John, Resident Evil Damnation. We're continuing our Resident Evil binge, following on with the next movie. This released October 27th, 2012.
I really quick before we start talking about the movie, I do want to point out my roommates watched it with me. One of my roommates is very familiar with Resident Evil, has played the games, all that. My other roommate, they have no context. So when they've seen all the stuff about Leon Kennedy online and all of his fancy little modded outfits, they were just convinced that he was like an escort having a really bad day in Raccoon City. Like they didn't have context for any of this. So when the movie was on, they were like, "Oh, he's a cop? He works for the government?" It's like, what did you think was happening?
I can see that already. He spends the entire movie being like, I was on my vacation.
Yeah.
I mean, also his code name is Wizard of Oz themed, so
Yeah. I
So
do like he really does kind of look like the intermediary between like he kind of looks like he does in 6 here.
I love the lip gloss that is constantly being reapplied to Leon in this movie. Leon is a beautiful boy, and I completely understand why my roommate thought that he was a male escort.
Thoughts on the facial hair? Do we like the facial hair?
don't I don't like facial hair on Leon.
it's a bit Limp Biscuit.
Yeah.
It's not right for Leon. I like when this was before he went through twink death, so he should still be looking like a twink.
I'm never quite sure about like the darker hair Leon, to be honest. It always kind of like yeah,
It's
it's
Matt Mercer Leon. Every time Matt Mercer voices Leon, he gets to be a brunette, and anytime it's the other actor, he's blonde.
Pretty
so
much.
to Mercer's credit, like having just watched Paul Mercier voice him in Degeneration, I was like, that's a pretty good job of kind of capturing that classic Leon sound.
He does. It's really good.
He does. Unfortunately, I've had too much Critical Role, so I can't unhear Matt Mercer. Just like I can now just identify him, and it's like it's unfortunate because he's in everything. So every now and again you'll hear a voice like detected.
It's actually funny
It's like
because
a Terminator, just like
my one roommate really knows Matt Mercer from Critical Role, and he's like, "Oh, it's so weird hearing Matt Mercer be a character." And I kind of
Vox
love
Machina coming out season 4 next month.
We are not sponsored, but we should be.
Yeah.
Get
Next
on
time
it, Mercer.
Matt, I'll bring it up.
Get on it, Mercer. We know
For
you
now,
Google yourself.
probably does. I probably shouldn't say that.
Hashtag Matt Mercer.
Before we get on to this, this you mentioned this bleeding into 6. Yeah, this was Resident Evil Generation did really well. Made way more money than they thought. It was like, we're going to do that again. We're going to lead into 6. So Makoto Kamiya is back to do the directing, and they had guys from Capcom in on this one to be like, this is where we're going, this is what it needs to be. This the place you'll spot this the most is when Leon and Ada have a chat, where because Makoto they wanted to push a love angle for them, but they couldn't say what they'd been doing, so they weren't entirely sure yet. Hence why we have Ada referencing their spaghetti incident. Of like, oh, can we pick up where we left off? It's like, okay, we can't sort of come down on it.
When you abandoned Leon on that jet ski, Ada.
Or or made him think you were dead in the bottom of Raccoon City. There's a
Or
lot
so
of
many other things, Ada.
yeah, I love Ada Wong and just because she's the character that can kind of keep Leon off balance even when he gets older and more experienced. That was kind of a presence that was missing in Requiem, frankly.
Yeah.
Though I guess you could argue he's already off balance because he's infected by remnants of the T virus. Yeah, no, I like their dynamic, but they don't really have a lot of scenes together in this one, do they?
They don't have a lot of scenes.
To be fair, Ada's on this weird B plot, which Ada kind of breaks this film in several parts. I love so for plot, Leon is sent to a place in Eastern Europe that used to be a Soviet country but no longer isn't. That is certainly not Ukraine. It's certainly not the Ukraine, even though it has the Ukraine's history.
The Republic of Czech.
Don't sue us. Yeah, basically the separatists are trying to take over using bioweapons, using their zombies, and we meet the sort of their new leader, who is a woman whose name is as probably as like Russian gets, Svetlana Beklova.
Really it's like two last names.
Yeah.
Just...
it really does feel like if you're at improv and someone says, "Oh, you're a Russian. What's your name?" "Oh, Svetlana Beklova."
Beklova.
But basically, she brings Ada in because, spoilers, she's evil because she's called Svetlana Beklova. What do you expect? To talk about the bioweapons. They're just like, "Oh, I'm from the UN." And so they make out that, you know, the president is this like hyper competent badass. He knows how to fight. He's got this big plan going on. Then we reveal midway through, Ada's not with the UN. No one bothered to check her credentials. She just said, "I'm from the UN," and everyone went, "Yeah, that's what UN agents look like."
Do you know how hard it was for post-Soviet bloc countries to do background checks on people? Are you joking?
Well, they said they found out by phoning them, but they didn't bother to phone them till after she had arrived. It's like, really?
They already brought her. They already brought
that's her thing, though. Like in RE2, she's like, "I'm with the FBI." It's like, oh, okay.
You know, it just undercuts that whole build-up they've done of Svetlana being like this very like ahead of the plan that no one thought to just check. And they find out by just asking. I also can't take Ada seriously because I think I can't remember what game it is. But I think one of the remakes where she appears. I was watching a friend play it, and whenever Ada appeared to the James Bond theme, she would sing Ada Wong, plot convenience.
See, I gotta give it to Svetlana though. Her fight scene with Ada, that is a cool fight scene. She whooped Leon's ass up and down too. Like I have to give it to Svetlana. She's a Metal Gear villain, and that I think is like the core of this movie. Is that it is what happens when you take a Metal Gear plot and shove Resident Evil into it.
She literally does Metal Gear 3 CQC, like the weird like arm bar counters all the time.
I think to that point, like, yes, it is very much a Metal Gear to the point where Leon looks more like a Snake or Raiden, than Leon S. Kennedy. Also, to emphasize that it's a Resident Evil story, every Resident Evil monster, zombies, lickers, plagas, tyrant, like Mr. X
Super tyrant.
Mr. X,
like everything.
I will say that was actually a problem I had with this film. I pity your roommate because this film, like near the end, just becomes here's every zombie we've ever made. I was happy to see the lickers. They're one of my favorite special but not named zombie types.
Yeah, great design.
Great design, really cool. Love the way they squish whenever they get they squish like mosquitoes.
They produce so much blood, it's hilarious. Like, you know in Portal 2 when you see the inside of the turret and it's all just like bullets? That's what lickers are. You open them, they're just like those candies that are full of goo.
They're just full of goo. There's like when one of them, like we're skipping ahead, but when one of them, Mr. X's, takes one of them and whaps the other one, and the wet Foley sound that is made out of this. I do also want to point out this was directed by one of the End of Evangelion guys, and that is why this feels the way it does.
It explains a lot.
When you don't have an epidermis, you're going to squish.
It's just good. It's such a wet noise that they make even when they're walking around. Give it up for the Foley artist, everybody.
Yeah. I've always loved, lickers are like top tier Resident Evil monsters. To that point, and to evoke Requiem again, I do love that you can harvest their blood as grace because of course you can.
Yeah.
Like
why not?
Of course they would offer a lot of.
They're just blood. They have like a thin membrane, and the inside is just blood.
Yeah, there's also
Capri-Sun that walk.
Yeah, there's a lot of like lickers, like casually like clawing. Like, remember when Leon's in the Hall of presumably dead soldiers, and one of them is still alive, and alive just enough to alert the two lickers that then proceed to just mollywop him like he's in the way as they continue their pursuit.
They're animated like dogs.
It's so wild. I gotta give it up for Leon. They got him out of bed. They made him go to not Ukraine, and then he ended up in the middle of all this nonsense. And then I always have to flash back to the fact that Resident Evil 2 took place when he was like on his first day of the job. Like, why does this keep happening to him? What is he putting into the universe that this is what happens?
Sexiness.
God has just looked at and gone, fuck this guy specifically.
Like it is crazy when you think about just how wrong it always goes for Leon. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is. He has a bad time. He gets knocked out. He gets thrown around. He gets tied up more than once, which I find quite funny. There is a piece where he breaks out of handcuffs, only to be immediately handcuffed again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Poor Leon. But he did make a friend in JD, who
Looks
is the
like
only,
Fred Durst.
he's also one of the only characters who had the same mocap and voice actor because they're credited separately in this. So he's one of the only ones who did both. And I liked him. I liked his energy. I knew he was going to die the minute we saw him.
Yeah,
what about the not Chris Redfield that Leon teams up with in the cathedral?
Oh, you mean his male love interest for the movie? Because he always gets a male love interest in everything he's in. Yeah, no, I liked him. I liked his vibe. I liked his weird red eyes when it started to become Final Fantasy VII Advent Children for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Leon Buddy is what they keep calling him, but his name's Sasha.
Well, his full if you look at the inside of the ring, for those of you who don't read Russian, his real name is Alexander. But Sasha is the Russian diminutive of Alexander. So everybody's calling him by his diminutive name, which is actually very cute and shows how tight they are.
This man has a lot of names, what I'm picking up.
Have you ever read Anna Karenina by any chance? Do you know how many names all the characters in War and Peace have? To hang out at a Russian barbecue for like 5 minutes, everybody's got 10 names.
It takes up a significant amount of the word count.
That's why that book is as long as it is.
Yeah, any Dostoevsky, any
Tolstoy,
that's gonna Fyodor really loaded up.
Well, I always say you can tell when I'm struggling to meet the word count when characters start getting hyphenated names.
Oh yeah, yeah. We have that guy who's like the leader of the resistance. I think it was kind of hard to follow what side everybody was on in this movie. I think that was my hardest thing.
It's the big problem with this film is that middle section. So yeah, basically Leon gets kidnapped by the separatists who are using the monsters, and they go attack the main palace. But obviously Leon learns that, oh no, Svetlana gave them the Plaga, the weak one Plaga, so they're all going to die, then she can claim victory. But what sort of happens is we have this weird middle section where Leon and him just run around doing stuff, kind of. Then we go into their lab, and then we kind of do another big fight there. I will say the most damning thing in this film for me is the ending. The ending fight, which is 4 tyrants. We kill one, another one appears. And it's just like, okay, we didn't need 4. One tyrant would have been fine for this. Like, it really does feel that they wanted to pad this film to hit 90 minutes. So we have quite a few scenes that don't go anywhere.
Yeah, I thought they were cool. It looked cool, and then I kept seeing another one come out, and DJ Khaled in the back of my head is just being like, I was expecting like a swarm of them at a certain point. Kind of disappointed I didn't get that. Like the Zerg rush of tyrants.
Tyrants are great.
Tyrants are cool. It's just when you do kill one, another one comes up. It's like, okay, well, we've just immediately ruined his aura.
To be fair, it did take an entire tank to kill the one, and though I will say the plane bombing them and then like the little spine with the blood spurting out, hilarious, genuinely very funny.
Yes, because the ending is the Americans and the Russians invade together and take over the entire city.
Yes,
I mean they all hate Svetlana that much.
Oh yeah, no, and it's not like Crimea wasn't about to be invaded not too long after this movie.
About 4 years.
But this place is nowhere near the Crimea. It's just a separatist Eastern European state. There are hundreds of those. It could be anywhere.
Yeah, it could be like Georgia, which had just been invaded by Russia 3 years prior.
Yeah, everybody's getting invaded today.
Next to Birmingham, it's fine. What especially annoys me is that Svetlana doesn't get an ending. Really, we hear that she retired. Well, In the film, we hear that she retired. In the novel, they give her an ending.
Oh,
Yeah, so this is the thing. There's a novelization of this film that fixes several of the problems. Like, Svetlana considers shooting herself, but her secretary slash love interest slash simp talks her out of it, and they decide to run off together. She doesn't stand down. She just flees. And the Americans basically use the you're not present, so you're not. Like, you've got to be present on the throne to claim it. King of the Hill rules.
King of the Hill rules. Okay, all right. I'm good with that. I kind
Yeah,
of
so-
just assumed that they shot her off screen.
yeah, she pulled a kingpin.
Yeah. Well, they also we see the big scar on her back. There's a big thing. We see her getting unchanged with time. You think, okay, so that must be like a Plaga thing. Then she's going to do some Plaga monster shit. No, that scar is from when she was beaten by the KGB as a child. It's like that would have been a nice character trait to have in the, because it justifies why she's so desperate to join the UN. So why was this not in the film when Tyrant Fight number 6 was?
It does kind of feel in a lot of ways where like they were trying to, like, they had a script for a Metal Gear movie half done. And then they were like, there's no way we can do a Metal Gear movie for less than 2 Lord of the Rings worth of runtime. So we're just going to make it a Resident Evil movie and go from there.
I mean, the last bit of all the containers does look very Metal Gear-y. One of my
yeah.
favorite additions from the book is they explain how Ada ends up tied to a ceiling. Because they don't do that in this. She just gets held at gunpoint and we cut and she's unconscious and hanging up from the ceiling. It's the assistant. He jabs her with a needle when she's looking.
I do want to point out that assistant did nothing when Ada and Svetlana were fighting. He was watching the entire time.
He was watching with a shotgun.
At no point did he think, oh, maybe I should just shoot him.
I was kind of waiting for him to do the, I can't tell which one's which.
Tell which one's which. So again, I do keep thinking about that fight because it is dynamite. It is very fun. I love the panty discretion shot with the gun. I love how none of the lighting in this movie actually makes any goddamn sense if you look at where things are shining from. It's so weird.
I love how there's bullet time every 3 seconds. Sometimes there is bullet time on shots where not much is going on.
Did this movie have a 3D release, by the way? Because there were a lot of like
yes, it did.
3D moments.
It was in 3D cinemas. There was a 3D Blu-ray release.
Which would explain all the Plagas Ganados monsters.
I mean,
when you see that, or when like the Licker's tongue comes up and just like kind of blems at you.
I started counting how many times Licker's come at the camera, and I lost count at 17.
That's a lot.
Yeah, as this for the extermination. See, it didn't die; it just came back in a new form.
Came back.
Yeah, like everything comes at the camera. I didn't watch this film in 3D because I'm not one of the people who brought a 3D TV because I'm not stupid. Yeah, no. So you can clearly tell this was made for like going for a 3D movie with the glasses and everything.
Did this ever have like a Universal Studios, like in Japan, like 4DX ride or anything?
No. This was just released in cinemas normally. This was a very normal film compared to many of the other Resident Evils.
Did it do as well as Degeneration?
Yeah, it did better. Made 2,325,000 at the Japanese box office. Made 3.3 million on American home media sales.
I do.
Children, they love Leon Kennedy in Russia.
To be fair, Resident Evil, as opposed to the previous film, remember that didn't release in cinemas very much. They had a very limited release around Gamescom. This had a proper cinema. This was basically, I think part of this film is Capcom were like, we made a mistake not just making this a normal film. Let's do it again, but make it a normal film. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Okay, this may be the highest reviewed film we've ever covered on this show, by the way. 100% critic score. 100% critic score, 70% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Though, with the caveat, the critic score is only 5 reviews.
Okay, all right.
So, a lot of the lunatics who be contrarian didn't get on this one.
This did better than Transformers the movie in reviews. That's crazy.
I will say, it's the same thing as last time, though. Most of the reviews are saying that the live-action films are shit. Like, there's quite a few reviews that don't really talk about this film at all, just how bad the other film is, which isn't really glowing praise of this film.
I do only have one real major complaint with this film, because I can deal with the nonsense, I can deal with the campy bullshit. What I can't deal with is that Leon Kennedy did not get enough one-liners I needed more out of him because every time they came up, I did have that moment like, shut up, Leon. But I wanted more of that because that was my experience playing the first RE4. Like the original version was being like, shut up, Leon, every 5 minutes.
I like his I don't need pruning when the guy jumps out of him and
Oh yeah.
shears.
I don't need pruning. Like, oh, it's all so good and so stupid. And I like Resident Evil. I like best has that like campy action movie stuff going on in it, and this has all that. It does also have some really great textures, and again, just the shittiest light box I've ever seen in a theatrical release movie.
It's amazing how this film's visuals degrade the second they start going outside in the day. Like that first bit when they're in the tunnels underneath looks really nice, and then we go out into this big courtyard in the day, and it's like, oh, I can see the set. It's like a 1920s film where the set's like a map behind them. It's like, oh,
I mean, the final fight in the courtyard area, I mean, it looks like a Final Fantasy fight. Like the kind of like heavenly light coming down from the sun, which is perfectly positioned like every time. It's like, oh, okay.
Crazy. It is crazy. Um, but yeah, like there's a lot of good stuff in here. There's a lot of weird things in here. I do want to go back to JD because I don't think we're giving him enough focus because he's kind of our tag along for the first part of the movie,
The
and
first half, yeah.
and
Yeah.
he's funny. He's got such a weird kind of like pro America, anti America jingoism to him that I genuinely enjoy. Also, it's 2012. How many things do you think are actually still made in America in 2012, my guy? It definitely isn't anything you're wearing.
I love that because his whole thing is like, oh, we like American made things, we just like Americans. Like
We don't have we don't make anything.
he declares he has 15 DVDs.
Good for him.
I would
Like,
love to know which 15.
oh man, I hope they're weird. I hope they're really weird.
They're just David Lynch films.
Yeah.
They're just David.
Seven of them are the Scorpion King.
There's just all the scorpion, just all different scorpion kings. Like they're all just like one season of Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah. Two.
But
Yeah.
I liked him. I like that we had him slowly realizing that war is hell. But I do want to point out that becoming like a freedom fighter slash terrorist just because you want to have fun with your friends, weirdly Japanese of him.
Mm.
It is. It reminded me of the old the new left guys who hijacked an airplane.
Yeah. What's the name of the Avalanche? It's very not Avalanche, is it? Is it Avalanche?
It's
Is that
Avalanche in Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
When they're eco terrorists.
The eco-terrorists was just like, hey, we're just having fun on motorcycles. You want to join us? We're gonna bomb some stuff. Cool.
Cool, I'm down. But then our friend, our buddy he gets brainwormed.
Plagueist.
He gets plagueist, and he gets the incurable cough of death. So
His
that's how
eyes
you know.
go red, and then Leon has to shoot him in the knees.
And
Well,
Leon had to shoot him in the spinal cord, I guess. There's the implication
I think that's what they were going for, but it's very clearly the knees. Talking of that, that's I hate the ending of this film.
Oh,
Really.
the
when he's in his
post.
wheelchair going up the
No,
cobblestone path to be
I'm fine with
again.
that. That's that. My thing is, so the ending of this film, Buddy is like, he has taken the Plagueis, he is going to die, and he's like, I'm going to kill myself. And Leon's like, no, you can't. You've got to keep on living, even without your limbs. And then shoots him himself. Fake out that Leon's killed him, and then mid-credits he's in a wheelchair, and he's wheeling himself to a school, implying he's taking back his old job as a school teacher. One, Leon, that is a 1 in a billion shot you just made to hit. Two, you're shooting him from the front. So even if you did hit his spine, you've pierced his bladder and his liver. Congratulations, his guts are now full of piss. He is dead from toxic shock in an hour. Two, by having Leon do that, you've just undermined your entire speech. Surely his option should have been, you can blow your head off, or you can take this risk and blow your spine yourself and keep on living. But by having Leon just do it and do it like it's the end of Mice and Men, it's like you've taken away this guy's agency. He didn't make the choice to keep on living. You forced him to keep on living. Like he should have done that himself. And again, the novel fixes this a little bit by having them basically point out that he still has a lot of medical issues from the Plagueis. It's just not spreading anymore.
Okay.
So they basically say that, yeah, okay, by keeping living, he will die young, he will be like in horrible pain, which at least does kind of make it better than Leon can apparently do bullet surgery.
Hey, Leon, okay, my roommate pointed this out. Leon Kennedy is competency porn. Like, that is who he is. People want to see a handsome man able to do whatever is put in front of him. That is what Leon is for. He is competency porn. So, yes, he can provide a surgery via gun. Every American learns how to do it. See, you just don't know that because you didn't grow up here.
It just makes me go like, Leon, why haven't you been doing that to everybody else? You could have stopped this whole thing in like 25 minutes.
No, he didn't.
Yeah,
He didn't like
yeah.
the people. He didn't like tiny Napoleon.
He didn't know about their DVD collection, so he doesn't
He didn't
care.
know about the DVD.
He did the whole thing because he desperately wants to borrow Scorpion King.
He really wants to borrow that copy of Scorpion King.
He missed it in
one?
cinemas.
The uncut version of Scorpion, the Snyder cut of Scorpion
Oh,
King.
God.
That's what.
4 hours long.
That's why it cuts to black, because Leon does take that moment to steal his DVDs. He's like,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, poor. But of course, you know, I am happy. No Wesker showed up.
No,
Wesker.
no Wesker. Our tease for the film is Derek C. Simmons, who is in 6. He's the one who has a chat with Ada at the end. Yeah.
No
Again,
Wesker.
that's confirmed in the novelization. You wouldn't know that from the film.
You
No.
would not know that from the film. You just hear a series of beeps.
Which is a shame. I do like Ada's last line of her being like slightly bratty. It's like, oh, don't cancel my arrest warrant.
I wanted that on my resume.
Yeah.
I like
What do you
Ada as
guys-
kind of a Lupin character who is just really into crime for the aesthetic. Like, no morals, just crime is kind of fun.
It's just love of the game. But
It's
the
lovely.
speaking of games, what's your all stance on 6 since this sets up 6? Because I think that's
Chris, Boulder Punch and Redfield.
that's 5.
I know, but every time I see Chris, that's all I think about anymore.
Oh.
Like, because during the credits, they actually show like a trailer essentially for Resident Evil 6.
Yeah.
And every time I saw Chris in that, I was like, damn, they stopped giving you steroids in between games, huh? Like, but I mean, I don't mind Resi 6. I think Resi 6 is really messy, but it wasn't like unfun to play. Like, I didn't have a bad time playing it when I did, though that could also be nostalgia goggles. So I haven't played it since it came out.
I played it a couple of months ago, and it's fine. You can clearly tell. I think my problem with 6, it was very clearly trying to be 4,
Yeah.
but in a way that, like, a person running a studio would be like, this is what made 4 work, and it's like, actually, no, that isn't what made 4 work.
My problem with 6, and 6 is my least favorite of the mainliners.
Really?
Yeah.
You like 6 less than 5?
Yeah. I like 6 less than 5. I like 6 less than 0. Wow.
That's heavy.
Because it's so bloated. Everything is longer than it needs to be. I hate the inventory interface. I hate the health interface where wherever you lose like a square of health, it's like your character's like, I have to fall down for a second now to let you know that I'm hurt. Like, I hate that. Like, 6 for me. So I will take boulder punching asshole Chris over Chris's I'm going to launch a rescue mission but lose everyone involved for this rescue mission like times 2. Like, if Leon is personified, like is professionalism personified and efficiency personified, then Chris is like just a lost cause.
Chris kind of is a lost cause. Chris is like not one of my favorite RE4 Resident Evil characters in general. So like any chance I get to make fun of Chris Redfield, I'm quite happy with.
Yeah, I like 5 more now since I heard someone explain it. Is 5 works if you imagine it's Chris talking to his superiors and he's telling them what happened to justify the money.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I mean, I have problems with 5. Let's be real. I have problems.
5 was so stupid it kind of looped around a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember all the controversy with, like, you know, I'm trying to think of a tactful way to say this. Obviously,
Tribes people.
The racism.
The racism is a huge factor, and I remember playing it. I'm like, well, it's kind of like analogous to like Black Hawk Down, and then you reach a point where they have like the shields and the spears, and I was just like, oh God, what have you done?
It's
Can't stream that these days.
no, it was. I really want to know who had that idea because it's such a. Like, even putting aside the racism of it, it's also just not an interesting environment.
Yeah.
Like what made 4 work is it was moody, tight, and there's all these kind of nice corners things. Here's a big open sphere with like. Actually, no, I think my best way to describe Resident Evil 6 is it feels like a mod.
Okay. All right.
Sure.
I could see that.
Like it just feels like someone like built a new level on top of 4, and it doesn't quite work. Like it's Gary's modding it.
Ooh, that's fair. That is absolutely fair. Like it's interesting to think about with the way that Resident Evil has changed and grown, especially in like the last couple of years, this version of Resident Evil, I think, would be very almost unrecognizable to new fans of the franchise. I think this level of like camp and one-liners and crazy nonsense that happens in like Resident Evil 5 and 6 and in this movie, comparing it to like Resident Evil 7, which is where it brought a lot of new blood into this franchise, would be very confusing for people.
What I love about that though is like 7 is like the scariest, most grimy. Like you kind of need a shower when you're
Yeah,
playing
it's
after you
dirty.
play 7 for an extended period of time. Um, they do kind of bring back the campiness by like I would argue like remake 3, maybe remake 4. Um, Even Ethan's cracking one-liners as bland and vanilla as Ethan Winters is in Village. And of course, like Requiem, all the Leon stuff, they go for broke. They're
Yeah,
like, this is what you came for. Enjoy.
Leon Kennedy is high camp, and we love that for him.
Yeah.
But before
Whenever
we get
whenever he lands, bald eagles scream.
ah! Before we get into final thoughts, I do have to ask, um, for since Leon Kennedy is our lead here, is there a Leon Kennedy moment from the games or the movies that is your favorite Leon Kennedy moment?
Look, he's like my favorite Resident Evil character because
Because you're right.
he's basically like an anime character that wandered into a zombie apocalypse, which I appreciate. Um, the bingo line in 4 at the end of the opening standoff is always going to live on. Him saying, and it's not in the remake, and I was always kind of bummed by it, him telling Salazar, no thanks, bro. Which, that's the one-liner I wish did carry over, but they didn't bring that one over. I love how casual he is at killing zombies in Requiem. Um, I also like that he lets maybe like is the wrong term, but like he totally lets a woman get chainsawed right in front of him without like reacting at all. It's like my brother in Christ, at any point in that like 30 seconds you could have done something with your obscenely large magnum, but you just didn't decided not to do it.
For you, it was the day you got chainsawed. For Leon S. Kennedy, it was simply Tuesday.
Simply
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Another Capcom property.
It's true. How about you, John? Any
It's the
favorite
bit. It's
moments?
the either the bingo line or when he first appears in one of the more modern games because of his design is so. I love they've kept his design a little bit, so it's like you have this very moody scene of like very modern sort of urban horror, like very paranormal activity, and then Mr. America from 1999 walks into the room and no one comments on it.
I mean, for me, I do think all of his interactions with Salazar are fantastic. I love how little of a shit Leon gives talking to like undead Napoleon. It's so funny, especially with how angry Salazar gets. Um, but we are at the end of our episode. That does mean time for some final thoughts. So let's have some final thoughts, my friend.
I mean, I've loved going into the down the Resident Evil animated pipeline with you guys. I haven't seen some of these movies since like college. So it's kind of been like, oh, that's right, this does exist. Huh. All right. Okay. So it's been a pleasant trip down memory lane. I always get this one mixed up with Vendetta. I always think that Russian Russian Chris Redfield is actual Chris Redfield. So we'll
Russian Chris Redfield can't hurt you.
yeah, so we'll apparently rectify that soon.
Hmm?
Yeah, this is another film I'd put in my sort of rent fun as a rental category. There are things you can critique about it. Like I would say you could lose 20 minutes from this film and have a tighter experience. I think it does this definitely isn't a film for new fans. It gets a bit heavy on the references, and this definitely feels like Capcom did see how Degeneration went, and were like, this one has to be a stronger advert for 6 rather than just a nice little bonus. So I do think that kind of does. It has that. You can definitely feel Capcom are more involved, and I think that does hamper them a little bit. But it's still, in general, a fun film. That padding isn't going to, in the hardness to follow, isn't going to break the film for you. You'll get through it in one sitting, and it's perfectly acceptable popcorn fun, carried by Leon being an idiot with a gun.
It's a fun movie, but John is right. If you are a new Resident Evil fan or you're not familiar with the older stuff, it is going to leave you a little lost. I know from my roommates and having to pause the movie every like 30 to 40 minutes to kind of fill in some blanks to, make sure that we're all having the same viewing experience of the movie. But it's fun. If you like Leon Kennedy, you're going to enjoy this. If you like fun monster fights, you're going to enjoy this. It's campy, it's weird, it's fun. Back after World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. It's if you like Metal Gear, you're gonna like this movie. But that does mean that we have pulled into our final destination. That's right. It is time for us to disembark from Toonami Absolution. We want to thank you once again in joining us and talking about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. We have been your hosts. My name is Alyx.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John.
And we'll see you next time. Bingo.